Could your right shoulder be the secret to good golf? I don't know, but I'm going to test it out on the range today, make a few moves with it, try some different stuff, see what it gets me. Let's get into this. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sweat Test Dummy, the channel where I sweat it out in a hot garage to try and get a couple more views than I had last week. I'm going to mess around with the right shoulder a little bit today. Specifically, there's a school of thought that tells you that you should keep your right shoulder back as long as possible. Keep it back and allow the club face to square up and come through impact. The other school of thought with more modern instruction is that you should really try and get your shoulders opening up at impact. Your right elbow and your arm should be kind of in line with that. We're going to try both of those today and see what's what with a 9-iron, then a 7-iron, and then a driver. I had to take my microphone off and set it over here. I'm sorry, I'll try and speak up a little bit. I know my volume will be down, but I'm starting off with a 9-iron, and I'm going to focus this time on, like I always do, just making the circle. But in the beginning, I really want to keep that right shoulder back and release the club down and through the golf ball in order to pull me up to impact. We're going to hit 3 shots. We're going to see what kind of accuracy I get and what kind of distance I achieve. All right, there's 139.4 carry, 146 total. Well, a little shorter, 135 carry, 139 total. Little touch of fade, and this one's 134 carry, 139.3 total. All right, now this time I'm going to make the same swing with the same club. Well, this time I'm really going to try and get the shoulders kind of squaring up and almost in line to the golf ball when I make impact. Here we go. That's 134.7 carry and 141 total. Ooh, this one's going further. 147 carry, 153.6 total. $141 carry, 146 total. The accuracy on both, it had a tendency to go a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, but it definitely went further with trying to get the shoulders opening up to the target, and it actually felt a little more powerful, almost like the club was kind of lagging behind me a little bit. It was a really weird feeling, but now let's move on to the 7-iron. That's powerful, little draw. Well, I carried 170.5 and it went out to a total distance of 178.8. This one's going a little bit shorter. For sure the strike did not feel as pure. 154 carry, 161.2 total distance. So considerably shorter. Oh, that time I got a pretty strong draw. But this one's definitely gone, I think, further than the first one. Yeah, 178 carry, 188.4 total with that 7-iron. All right, now let's try and get the shoulders open with that 7-iron and see what we get out of that. Pretty straight, touch of fade, but coming back to the middle. Pretty good carry and roll. Looks like this one's going to get out to a total of about 175. Yeah, 166 carry, 174.1 total. That came out really thin. That was not good contact. Yeah, 151.5 carry, 163.2 total. That was not a good strike. I just pulled it. It's a pretty straight ball flight. Pulled it a little bit, but oh my goodness. That might be the longest one. Yeah, 178 carry, 191 total. Man, I had to check for a second to make sure that I was hitting a 7-iron instead of a 6-iron. That last one was really long. The second shot that I took with opening the shoulders up, it was really bad contact. I felt something a little off in it. Maybe that's kind of making the case for keeping your shoulder back, is that, you know, when you're trying to square your shoulders up and really get them turned through, opened up to the target. The common complaint with that is that you get inconsistencies, that it's really kind of difficult. It's a difficult move. And after all, we're not all spring chickens. I mean, I'm not made out of rubber bands and gasoline like I used to be. It's kind of hard to be that flexible like I was when I was in my 20s. But now let's move on to the driver and let's see what happens when the rubber meets the road with the big stick. Yeah, 95.4 club head speed, 230 carry, 242.6 total distance. Oh, now we get the hook. Oh man, this is really hooking. I don't think it's that great of a shot either. It didn't feel like awful contact though. Yeah, 92 club head speed, 212 carry, 227.5 total distance. Yeah, 94 mile an hour club head speed, 235.8 total distance. And this should be the big payoff. One of the things they tell you in modern golf instruction is when you get those shoulders open, you really tap in and harness the power. When you get that right arm that's still folded and it's kind of attached to your hip and you keep in your posture and you really open the shoulders up, you should really get the distance. So let's see how this goes. Came out lower, little draw. Yeah, no, that's not going any further. That's still going to end up probably around 230 yards total. All right, let's really try and focus in. Let's really think about getting that right shoulder back to the ball, staying in posture, and driving through the golf ball. Okay, we might have something here. Well, maybe not. No. That's a good straight ball flight. Maybe the contact was not so great. 93 mile an hour club head speed, 215 carry, 225 total. That's disappointing. All right, that's a block. Struck well. Straight ball flight. This one's about as good as the first one where I kept my shoulder back as far as distance goes. We had 94 mile an hour club head speed, 225 carry, 237 total. Okay, so what did we learn? The 7-iron, whether I kept the shoulder back or I opened the shoulder up, either way, I had some sort of, let's call it erratic distances. Sometimes it would go a little bit shorter than expected, and other times with at least one with the shoulder back and one with the shoulders being open, I had some pretty long 7-irons in there. The ball flights, both of them, neither one of them were super dependable. Again, with the 7-iron there, I know that I had one that was a real mishit when I had the shoulders and I was trying to open up and really bring that right shoulder in and get my chest out toward the target. I know that I had the second shot that was really a thin mishit, but those things happen, and that speaks to what you're trying to do here. So again, the 7-iron, it's kind of a draw. Now when it comes to the driver, I had some erratic ball flights with both. Neither one of them were super dependable or had the exact same shape every time. And the distances, really, you got to give a slight edge to keeping the shoulder back, for me at least, because the very first drive that I hit was not too bad. The others were nothing to write home about, but the best drive that I had with opening my shoulders up was the very last one, and really it was kind of unimpressive at around 240 total. For me, 240, 242 yards, somewhere in that neighborhood, that's about the average that I get on this device out here. On course, it's a little bit different. On course, you know, I can get to 265, 270, but in here you kind of have to take your distances with a grain of salt when it comes to the driver. Everything else though, it's the same on course as it is here in the sim. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Should I be opening my shoulders up toward the target and really trying to get those to go through? Or should I leave this right shoulder back and try and hit it with a more chest facing the golf ball at impact type of swing? I honestly, I felt really solid strikes with multiple shots, with both swings. The yardages, the distances, the ball flights, they really did not change a whole lot. I'll tell you one thing that makes a huge difference no matter what kind of swing you're trying to make. Staying in posture, turning back and leaving your spine angle, turning through and leaving your spine angle the same. If you turn back and stand up, and then you come down, and then you turn through and stand up, you're really going to have some inconsistencies. You're going to have an inconsistent low point, which is the end-all be-all, and you're also going to have some inconsistent paths. So I think the number one takeaway I've got is that you can leave the right shoulder back and let the club release, or you can really try and release your chest toward the target. Either way, it doesn't matter as long as you're rotating around that spine and you're keeping that spine angle the same throughout the golf swing. I tell you, I learned that I can probably play with just about any kind of swing that I try as long as I keep the same principles in mind. A decent setup with the intention in mind, keeping the spine angle around it instead of standing up and just making the circle around you. However you make the circle, it doesn't matter if your shoulders are leading it. It doesn't matter if your hands are leading it. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. It's all about making the circle. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Leave me some comments. Give me your thoughts on this. Which way are you? Are you shoulders open or are you shoulders square at impact? And I'll see you in the next video.